Friends, hello. I'm finally here to talk about all things October. I love October. It's probably my favorite month of the entire year. There's lots that goes on in October, which is why I love it, but it can also be overwhelming and exhausting. So, as much as I'm sad to see October go, I am looking forward to taking some time to do nothing because October was insane. You've got the staple things that happen in October and then the other things that pop up throughout the year that also happen in October. So it's just a lot. We'll go over some of it, not all of it. It's not all that interesting. But as per usual, the video will have memories and experiences, books, purchases. I'm not really going to talk about the decks that I used because I still have my 47 decks in 47 days. That was also still happening in the month of October. So I'm hoping this weekend I have time to film 47 decks in 47 days. And then I'll talk about the decks that I used in October. I did finish 47 decks in 47 days in the month of October. And I finished off with my spooky decks and kind of like winter season decks because that's how I structured the order of my decks during that little project. So I'll talk about decks a lot in that video, but this one, I just used my spooky decks for the month of October. And shocking, I know. But so let's get started. Memories and experiences. October, there's a lot that goes on in the month of October as a staple every year. So we have Canadian Thanksgiving, we have Halloween. Usually those two things I am away the entire weekend for. I go up north for both of those things. So that's 2 weekends out of October that I'm gone. Halloween took place locally this year, thank the goddess, because I couldn't do it. I absolutely couldn't do it. But then I also have other staples like best friend's birthdays, my mom's birthday, stuff like that. And then this year, the extra things that got added on were a family member's wedding that was out of town. So I was out of town for a weekend. They actually 2 days before the wedding asked me to film it. So that was fun. I've never filmed anything like that before in my life. I literally had my phone and a gimbal, which was also the first time I've ever really used it at length. So I filmed their wedding on this little gimbal and my phone, and I edited up a cute little montage with music in the background, which I've also never done, but YouTube has really prepped me for that. So I was actually really proud of myself. I put it together to some songs, and I gotta say, for being filmed on a cell phone while I was in the crowd, because I wasn't like up moving around, I didn't want to be in the photographer's way, I think I did okay, and they were really pleased with it. But that did take up a lot of time, you know, the editing and all that jazz. So that was something that was really stressful for me. I do Survivor Night every Wednesday with my friends, so technically that's a staple, but every Wednesday is full. Then I was prepping for my race, so twice a week I would go for a trail run to prep for my trail run that happened in the month of October. So I did that. It was a 7-kilometer race and I completed it. Here's my cute little medal. Yeah, really, really fun. It's just plain on the back and it's wood. So I'm really proud of myself for completing my 7-kilometer trail run. I was one of the last people to cross the finish line in my category, which was the 7-kilometer run category, but that's fine. It's fine. I'm not a hardcore athlete. I am a slow runner, and I've been running since my early to mid 20s, so almost 20 years. And I have learned that if I try and push myself, if I try and run faster, if I try and run harder, longer, whatever, I start to not enjoy it anymore. So I'm okay with being a slow runner. I finished a 7-kilometer trail race, so proud of myself for that. I also went to a Bryan Adams concert. Started off as a joke, and I ended up having the time of my life. So amazing. I actually didn't realize how many Bryan Adams songs I knew, but loved it. It was a weeknight though, and exhausting. I took a pottery wheel class. Not really going to talk about that because I still have to go back and paint them, so I'll show those when I get them in my hands. But there's just a lot going on. And of course, Halloween. My friends are obsessed with Halloween, and I love them for that. Love it. So one of my best friends has a birthday in the month of October, and typically we end up going to some sort of haunted something or other. So this year we did Screamers. I am not a haunted house person, but I had the time of my life at this it's not a haunted house. It's like a haunted park it's a pop-up park that they put in a parking lot in like shipping containers, like, which was actually really well done. But so much fun. And the animatronics that they had at this park were insane. Like obviously a little gory. So if you're not into that, I apologize, but it was really impressive and it was a lot of fun. I screamed so much. Great time. So that was something else that we did in the month of October. And Halloween. Halloween's going to take up probably a bigger chunk of this video because it's epic. Like I said, my friends go all out. This year it was at someone else's house, not up north at the other person's cottage. So it stayed local, which was nice. And my friends really do go all out. They're next door neighbors, so I went over early and handed out candy on the driveway with the one house first, and then we all got ready and headed over next door to the party where it was like a circus theme, which is with the same theme as last year, but they had all this stuff from last year and it was a different location with different people, so I was like, why not? Let's keep up the theme. We've got all the things. So they did her house up like a scary circus, among other things, and she went all out. She's one of those people, I don't know how she does it. She never sits down. She never has like a moment to herself. Christmas is the same thing. She decorates her tree like celebrities could pay her to decorate Christmas trees. She is that good. And her house is always usually done up for Christmas as well. But so it was perfection. It was insane. I got to sneak over early to take a video of what the house looked like before it got too packed, because I figured if I waited till everyone got there, I wouldn't be able to see any of the cool stuff in the video. So pretty cool. But with Halloween comes the Halloween costume. And it's kind of important to me to handcraft at least part of my costume. I feel like that goes a long way with myself, but with other people. It's not like going to a store and buying a costume. There's no real effort involved in that. No shame to that, because there's definitely been years where I have done that and it is tempting. But I really just like to incorporate a handmade part of my costume, which also took up a lot of my time in the month of October. So this year I decided to go as a character or a individual from the movie Saw. She's in the first movie, that's all I'll say about that, but she has the reverse bear trap on her head. If you're not a fan of the Saw movies, also apologize, but the theme is she has this reverse bear trap on her head, and what a reverse bear trap is it has a piece inside the mouth, and if she doesn't get her task done, it will violently separate her mouth. I apologize, it's awful, but I decided to make the reverse bear trap, and I cannot take full credit for this because there is a fantastic YouTube creator called The Foam Witch, and she has a video where she goes through putting this together, and she also provides the templates for all these pieces for free. She does this. So that's how I did the templates, and I pieced it together based on her video, which I probably watched 75 times or more. So that is what I ended up doing for Halloween, and I was so proud of my creation. I have it here with me. I know I showed it in the video, but this is just like, I don't know what to do with it now because I have this now, but I am obsessed. I did make some changes from what she had in her template, just, you know, some modifications that either had to be made or modifications that I was like, I'm doing it my way because it was easier or I liked the look of it better. It's honestly, I'm so proud of it. So proud. And like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Like, do I put it on a display? Like, it's kind of creepy. It's kind of a weird thing to have on the display. But it's made out of foam, in case we couldn't tell, the Foam Witch. So it's very lightweight and it was really comfortable to wear. I would put it on, but I have a hair clip in my hair, so I can't do that. But I spray painted it. I made this little timer. I don't want the light to reflect off of it. So I printed that off a little printer and colored it in and smeared it with aging and splattered some paint on it. So yeah, I made that spring because I didn't have a spring. So I just coiled, oh, I think I still have it right here, this around a pen and made a spring. It's not fully correct because it does have these like screw caps There's supposed to be a lot of them. They're supposed to be underneath as well. There's some on the top. These are supposed to be real nails, but I used Q-tips because I didn't want it to be too top heavy. So I didn't add some hardware because I didn't want it to be heavy, but this is my reverse bear trap and I am so proud of it. Like the detail is, I'm so proud, but again, I can't take all the credit because the Foam Witch on YouTube, I'll try and remember to link the video. She gets basically all the credit. I just glued it and spray painted it. So that was my Halloween costume. And I did not win first place, which is fine. Someone dressed up as Cindy Lou Who, and she had the whole hair thing, like she made parts of her costume as well, which I appreciate. So she ended up winning first place and I got second place, which doesn't have a prize. There's no prize for second place, but it is, as long as people are putting effort into it and they're as into it as I am and they win, I'm here for it. But there were games, there was food, like spooky treats. I made Rice Krispie brains, which were a pain. Turns out molding Rice Krispies is a very difficult task to do. It's not that easy. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun, and I'm really proud. It ended up being a super late night for me, which also didn't help for the month of October, but lots of fun. I mean, it was November the next day, so I can't really say that was an October thing, but that's that. Those are memories and experiences, I think. No, we're good. Now we can talk about books. Because October was so nuts, I only was able to read 2 books in the month of October. It's fine. Part of me feels a little disappointed in myself, but I get it. Like it was an insane month. So the first book I read was Slewfoot by Brom. I really enjoyed this book. It's an old time 1600s or 1700s. I think it's 1600s. Kind of small town, middle of nowhere, farming community style thing. And this woman meets a character. We'll say that. I'll leave it there. And the story unfolds from there, and I love it. I love the ending. I feel like it's kind of non-traditional, and I love a non-traditional ending. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it kind of was. It was supposed to be a spooky season read, and it kind of wasn't, because I think I said in a previous video, I kind of read books like that all the time, so it didn't really give me that spooky feeling I wanted. I did want to read Pet Sematary this year, but didn't get around to it. The second book I read, so that one I listened to on Audible, and this one I read on the Kindle. It's the last one of the Everflame, the Spark of the Everflame series, so it's The Heat of the Everflame. This book is over 1,000 pages long and took me forever to read. I was quite frustrated with the decisions of some of the main characters at a lot of points. I guess as that is, I mean, I think that's kind of typical, but it was just a little frustrating. And I thought this series was completely published. It is not. Turns out there's actually a lot of drama around the 4th book and when it's going to be released. As of right now, it looks like July 2026, which again, I did not know getting into this. Had I known that, I probably would have waited, but these are free on Kindle Unlimited right now, so that's why I got into them. But I am looking forward to the 4th book. That cliffhanger is a doozy. So I hope I remember what the cliffhanger is in July of 2026. But that's that. I didn't even read the book club book. I don't even remember what it was, but I didn't read it. And that's the first time that's happened. And I've been in book club. December will be 1 year that I've been in book club. And I just didn't have time to read it. So I didn't attend the meeting. I was planning on attending the meeting, but I ended up having a really bad headache that day. So I didn't even go to the book club meeting in November. So didn't get around to it. I'm sort of almost finished one right now, and I do plan on reading the current book club book. It's more my style. The previous one, not so much, but that's what I love about book club, is that you read books that you probably normally wouldn't pick up for yourself. But this one is more my style, and I definitely do want to read it. So I hopefully will read that for the month of November. And I'm thinking of doing an ACOTAR Throne of Glass reread. That is pretty crazy of me because that's a lot of books. Throne of Glass especially is very long. I have them all on Audible, all Sarah J. Maas books I've listened to on Audible, and I really want to do a reread. Part of me is like, I If you're rereading the same book, it's like you're not really reading, even though you are, and it still goes towards your count. I feel like it's a weird thing to reread a book. I don't know, but I'm almost at 365 days in a row of reading. That'll end in November, and I can't wait for it to end, because also the added pressure of having to read or listen to a book every single day was quite a lot in October. There were 2 days I almost forgot, so can't wait for that to be over, but also a big accomplishment. Okay, purchases. I do have some crystals and some like miscellaneous items that I purchased in the month of October, so I'll show those now. The first chunk of purchases I'm going to talk about relate to the fountain pen inks that I bought. But I did also get a new TWSBI Eco, and I got it with a medium nib. I was always a fine nib girly. I really like a fine line when I'm writing. I find I can write smaller, I can fit more on a page, but some of the inks, especially some of the ones I'm going to show you, just perform better on a medium nib. So I made the leap to a medium nib TWSBI Eco. And then the inks that I got, I tend to buy smaller inks just because I don't really use them to, like, the big bottles I have found are like, they're not even, like, I'm barely going through them. So I like the smaller ones because they're cheaper, and I just don't feel like I'm wasting anything. Like, these are just 10 milliliters, I think. But one of them, I'm so upset. I feel like I might want a bigger one because it's so stunning. So the first one I got from Ferris Wheel Press, these are all from Ferris Wheel Press, is Bluebell brush strokes. This was on sale. I think I only paid $5 for this one. Only one of these I paid regular price for. There's another one I'll show as well. This one is a pretty blue, and I think it has red. I don't know if it's called sheening. I'm not entirely sure. We'll look at the samples. And the next one I got was also on sale, the Current Crumble Pie. You can see the shimmer on the bottom of that one. It has like a copper shimmer. It's very like rose gold looking. And the one that I think I'm going to want a bigger bottle of is Phantom Mist. Oh, the spider web, and it has blue shimmer. I love how this looks out on my little test. The other one I got is a bigger one, also on sale. So the Phantom Mist was $10. It was the only thing that was regular price, and then the Current Crumble Pie was $8. So 5, 8, and 10. And then we have the Ferris Wheel Press. They did a like fairy tale series. So the one I got was Curious Woods. This box, oh my gosh, I am obsessed with it. So we see our wolf who travels down onto the bottom of the box, and on the top we have a very Harry Potter looking owl. And then we go to the sides, then we have 2 piggies here and a chipmunk, which also gives like base brown sheen and a shimmer green pink shading and a over here it's taken up mostly by this blurb, and then there's one more piggy. Here he is. Here's our other piggy. So this one is obviously 3 Little Pigs, but this box is, I want to try and somehow incorporate it into my journal. I just love the colors of it. It's such a pretty brown, light bronze with the light green. Love it. This ink I do love. So we have a 20 milliliter bottle, and the shimmer on the bottom, you can see the green pink on the bottom. So I'll show you the samples as well. But this one I've been loving. It is currently what's inked in the TWSBI Eco medium, but I'm finding that the shimmer isn't quite coming out properly in my writing, and you'll see it in the ink splotch sample. Now my samples, I have to apologize, are small, but that's because I do buy them in the small bottles, so I don't want to waste a lot of ink on my splotching samples. So here we have what is inked in the TWSBI Eco, the Curious Woods, and that is with the medium nib. The sheen doesn't really show up at all. And that's kind of a problem that I'm having when writing with it. And I don't know, like, you can see a lot of the shimmer, the sheen shimmer, is stuck in here. And when I write with it, it just doesn't, there's maybe like the odd letter that the sheen shows up on. So I wonder if I can find you an example without exposing too much of my life. So a simple Samhain pull there. I'm trying to, it might be difficult over camera, but it's not picking up the shimmer as much as I would have liked. And then this one is the Phantom Mist, which I love. That looks so pretty. I can't wait. It's going in the pen next. That's the Bluebell one. So it fades to like a red, really pretty. And then that is the current crumble pie, whatever that's called. But here, so I love this ink. This is Stroke of Midnight by Ferris Wheel Press. It's in my fine nib, and when you write with it, you don't get that red in the lettering. It just looks blue. So I'm looking forward to also trying that in the medium nib to see if some of that red shows up. But these are my inks and my pens, and this is a problem. Like I understand where people buy so much of this, and that's also why I buy the smaller bottles, because I can't have these big bottles taking up space everywhere. So those are my inks and my pen. Let's go to crystals. There are some. I got this lovely amethyst cluster. The camera is fading it out. It is a darker purple in person, but it's so sparkly. The camera's also not doing the sparkle any justice. I got a black tourmaline freeform. This is going to go on my desk at work to absorb any negativity, any negative energy. My new job is just, it's a lot. So I wanted to have a negativity absorbing crystal. And then also for work, I got a shungite tumble to absorb the EMF from the laptops, the computers, the cell phones, all that jazz. So that's going to be another work crystal for a different function. And I went on a petrified wood kick. So we have this pink petrified wood disc, cookie, whatever you want to call it. I'd not seen pink petrified wood like this. She had a lot of these on her lives. So this was just a really cool one to add to the collection. Very different. But normally my petrified wood, I do like it to be more wood looking. I like it to look a little more like wood, like what it is. So she had these, and I love these. These are actually petrified wood from Arizona, which is why I wanted them, because Arizona has a special place in my heart. And there is one family that finds these petrified wood chunks and cuts and polishes them all themselves. And I love that too. I love everything behind it. So my goal was to have one of these for the office and one for home. But keeping one in the office, I don't know. I feel like I want it with me here. I don't know. We'll see. I also kind of thought of these for November's moon tray, because I like November to be rustic, earthy kind of. So they might go in November's moon tray. We'll have to wait and see. But I love that they're the more natural tones, and I love that they're from Arizona. This is definitely not from Arizona. I'm not sure where this is from, but it's not Arizona. So next, I got this lovely piece of, I've heard this pronounced two different ways, seraphinite and seraphinite. So however you want to pronounce that, this is very expensive, guy. Very, very pricey, but it is very pretty. It's only found in one place in the entire world, which is somewhere near Siberia, also near Lake Baikal. So if you are on TikTok and you follow Spooky Lake Month, which is Geo Rutherford on TikTok, she every October does Spooky Lake Month. And Lake Baikal has a lot of spooky history. And the fact that this was in October near Lake Baikal, I was like, it's the perfect time to get myself a piece of, I call it seraphinite, whether it's seraphinite, seraphinite, whatever you want to call it. So I finally got a little piece. It's my only piece of Seraphinite that I own, so she is here. And then of course we got our freebies, our crystal drip baggies. I did take out the bigger pieces so you guys don't have to see me fumble. So one of them had this rose quartz piece in it. I just saw a rainbow. Where'd it go? Just saw a beautiful rainbow. So we have another rose quartz tumble to add to the collection. And then the other baggie had these two guys. I'm assuming this is also a rose quartz. It's very, very light rose quartz. You can see the difference when they're side by side, and it's not quite a sphere, but whatever. Another cute little rose quartz tumble. And this, I believe, is Mookaite, a cute little Mookaite tumble. So I did get a Mookaite tumble in a previous crystal drip bag, I think. Yes, very different looking. So these are the only two Mookaite tumbles I have, and then I have a Mookaite heart and no other Mookites that I am thinking of off the top of my head. So love that guy. It's going to go in my little fall basket here. And that's it for purchases in October. And the last thing I wanted to talk about for purchases in October, have I been saying November? Anyway, October. The Saint Soleil released their 2026 version of the Celestial Journal. This is the 2024 version. They did not do a 2025 version, which I was heartbroken about, but you can pre-order the 2026 version of their Celestial Planner, which I love. I'm a huge fan of this planner. I've talked about it so much on my channel. The problem is, it's $100 Canadian plus almost $45 shipping Canadian. That's a lot of money for a planner. However, it is a planner that I enjoyed immensely and was so looking forward to. I don't know if I'm going to get it because I don't know if I can spend $150 on a planner. I don't know. I don't know if I can justify that. As much as I did love it, I don't know, maybe a Christmas gift. I could put Christmas money towards it. That would make it sting a little less. But one of the things I was kind of annoyed about was when I purchased this the first time, this cover, it's a vegan leather cover. You had the option of buying the journal with the cover or without the cover, just like the paper front and back, because the covers are reusable. That's how they advertised it. Was you would use the cover for the next year, and then the next year you would pay less to buy the version that just has the paper cover and slide it into your old cover. That's not an option. You have to buy it with the cover. So I kind of thought, like, I was looking forward to being able to save some money on the next year's version of this because I wouldn't have to buy the one with the cover, but now that's not an option. So a little disappointed about that. It again would have been easier to swallow that pill if I could buy the cheaper version without the cover, but that's not going to be a thing, I guess. So kind of annoying, undecided what I'm going to do about it, but I just thought I would throw it out there and let you guys know that you can pre-order that from Saint Soleil's website. I don't know if there's an advantage to pre-ordering, like if it's cheaper if you pre-order. They haven't really made that clear or not. It's shipping November 20th. So if you want to get your hands on that, there you go. It'll be cheaper for those outside of Canada for sure. So that makes it an easier decision for you guys. I think it's $70 US, I think. That's it. That's all my purchases. Kind of felt like there was more than that, but no decks this month. I should have a deck coming for the month of November to talk about, but I don't know what's going on with Canada Post either. That's the other thing about buying stuff right now is who knows when you're going to get it. So we should have a deck to talk about in November, but I'll be talking a lot about decks in my 47 decks in 47 days video, which I have to figure out how to structure. I have no idea how I'm going to film this video. And I will leave you with my November moon tray. So thanks for watching, and I will see you when I see you. November's moon tray is what we're working on, but this was October's as a reminder. So I obviously went with a orange and black theme for October. Oh, I love the vibe of this. I absolutely love the vibe of this moon tray, and I am sad to see it go, but I love it when that happens. I love it when I curate this so much that I don't want to disassemble it and make a new one. But here we are. It's November. So what I want to do is go for earthy tones. I don't know. I have a couple ideas. I do want to bring in my new petrified wood pieces, maybe some old petrified wood pieces. I feel like that's kind of the vibe I want for November. We'll see. So I will take all this out and reset. And here's November. Now, I have to start off by saying it's coming across way more blue on camera. Like, this blue tiger's eye is so much deeper in person, and it's just beaming blue on the camera. Same with this dendritic opal. That's showing up way more blue on camera, and this moss agate actually just looks straight up blue on camera, and it's not. It's a white green. I wonder if I tried to pull the blinds a bit to help with the blue, but just know it's not as blue in person as it is on camera. This looks very blue on camera, but it's not to the eye. So I ended up going with a brown, green, blue theme. Yes, some of them are blue. That is straight up blue. That's kind of like a purpley blue. There's even some soft blue in the petrified wood over here. There's some things in here that I cannot remember what they are. This is one of them. Can't for the life of me. If I think of it, I will pop it up on the screen, but I love this little guy. So stunning. There's some moss agate in here. There's some serpentine, one piece of serpentine. So we do have the petrified wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of petrified wood. That is an ocean jasper. This is an ocean jasper. Is there any other ocean jaspers? This is an ocean jasper. This is very green. There's our serpentine, blue tiger's eye. We have a couple black moonstones that are kind of peachy looking in person. This I also can't remember to save my life, but we've got, it's blue and goldy brown, very pretty. Polychrome jasper, smoky quartz, moss agate, little baby moss agate. Thought I had more moss agate than that. I think this is also, I think this is technically a dragon's blood, but there's no red in it, but it works for the moon tray. Then we have a pyrite in agate that has a name I can't think of, and then the dendritic opal, which is a very, very earthy to me. It's got the browns in here, the dendrites going through it with the white. Like, I feel like it's a very combination of sand, sky, and water in this one. Love that. Same with this. It has the same kind of ocean, earth feel to it. So I think that's it. I think I've captured everything in here. It's not entirely what I had envisioned, but I like the concept of green, brown, and blue for some reason. I don't know. It doesn't seem very November, especially when you're looking at it on camera. It's coming across way more blue, which doesn't give November vibes, but I don't know. So I'm okay with it. Oddly enough, we ended up with a lot of these oval tumbles. I don't love that, but that's okay. This actually marks 1 year of doing this. I don't think I've been sharing it on my channel for the whole year, but November of 2024 is when I started doing my moon trays. So I've been playing around with all my friends in this way for over a year, and I love that I get to, because like I said, when I started doing this, I have so many tumbles and I just want them all to get used in some way, shape, or form. So doing this every month is a way for me to display them and appreciate them in a different manner and work with them in a different way and play with how they work with each other visually, not energetically, because I think this would, if you're working with them energetically, this would probably be terrible, but just aesthetically how they all work together. So this marks, this is technically, I guess, my 13th month of doing this, and I love it so much. I'm going to continue doing this, and it's something that I think is just making use of all these tumbles that I have in my possession. So yay me.